A clear distinction must be made between what we have already went over, that of the burnt offering, the peace offering, and the meat or grain offering. We've already went over all of those. Those are voluntary offerings. The sin offering and the trespass offering are the obligatory offerings. This must necessarily be understood of more than common sins and daily infirmities. For if every such sin had required an offering, it had not been possible either for most sinners to bear such a charge, or for the altar to receive so many sacrifices, or for the priest to manage so infinite a work. Therefore, for ordinary sins, they were ceremonially expiated by the daily offering, and by that on the great day of atonement. The moral lesson taught to the Jew by the sin offering was of the terrible nature of sin and of the necessity for an expiation for it in addition to penitence. Mystically, he might see that, as the blood of bulls and goats could not of its own virtue take away sin, there must be an offering foreshadowed by the sacrifice of the animals. The type is, of course, fulfilled by the atonement wrought by Christ's blood on the cross. And once again, we have here a young bullock without blemish, all of it pointing symbolically to Christ ultimately and his sacrifice, without blemish. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. Now he's in the holy place, right outside of the Holy of Holies. 7, being a complete number, is used for the perfect finishing of a work. Hence the 7 days of creation. 7 branches were in the golden candlestick. 7 times the blood was sprinkled on the Day of Atonement. But notice the very obvious distinction here. This is the first time of all the other sacrifices that it is so close, that this blood is to be sprinkled so close to the Holy of Holies. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord. And it represents the prayers. And some blood was to be placed upon the horns. The rite shows that the intercession of Christ, the prayers from him, signified by the altar of sweet incense, proceeds immediately following his blood and sacrifice. Just as we read in the New Testament in the book of Hebrews 7, wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them.